Sometimes I wonder if the videos I'm making on this channel are cool or if they're just lame to everybody but me. Kitty, why are you here? I requested that you did not come up here. Hi, welcome back to my channel where I talk about things that interest me because that's all I do all the time. I'm really interested in zombies. I think the zombie apocalypse makes for a really cool setting for movies and such, and it sets up a lot of cool plot devices. Like most people, I've thought about what I would do if a zombie apocalypse were to start tomorrow, so in this video, I'm going to go in depth about how I would survive the zombie apocalypse. That's the video idea. The first thing to get out of the way is the setting. What would this apocalypse look like? I'm doing all this preparation under the assumption that this apocalypse looks like something from the one from Contagion VR, where a couple people in a large city start out infected and it spreads around from there. When this outbreak starts, everything will still be intact and I would have a warning. Even if it started in Seattle, the whole country would know about it in under an hour, so I would have plenty of time to prepare. Of course, the other big me's that we need on Plus is the type of zombie we're working with. I'm expecting like Walking Dead zombies, so the kind that aren't very strong but are very capable of hearing and seeing people. Like in The Walking Dead, the zombies get more and more decayed over time, which means that the main objective for humans is to get everything locked in place so that we're not generating any new zombies long enough for the old ones to completely decay, which would be over the span of about a year or so. Another major factor in play is whether or not natural deaths result in zombification, and I'm gonna say yes. So everyone is infected and you just don't transition until you die or are bitten. So if there was actually a zombie apocalypse, I would not want to be where I am right now. I live in a suburban neighborhood near a decently populated city, so the goal would be to get somewhere out of the way. I would ideally find a location that meets 3 criteria. 1. It isn't close to a highly populated area, or else there would be a ton of zombies roaming around everywhere. 2. It is, however, close enough to a small town that I can drive there and back regularly. And 3. I have some sort of reliable structure that will last me a few years. I need an abandoned house or gold mining outpost in the Olympic Forest or something. So the plan would be to load up the car and drive out into the wilderness until I spot a house out in the hills or something that I could drive to, and then just beg the residents to let me move in with them. So aside from like a little bit of food and water, what am I going to bring from home? If I have 1 or 2 cars worth of space because my family would be coming along, what's the loadout gonna look like? Assuming I had time to grab it all, I would bring camping supplies, a portable water purifier, a knife, some building supplies like a hammer and a few boxes of nails, etc., my phone and earbuds with a solar panel charger because I sure as hell don't plan on going 10 to 20 months without music when the power goes out, some winter wear and blankets, a duffel bag full of clothing, flashlights, lamps, and batteries, a pack of cards and other related versatile gaming implements, and a sufficient amount of paper and writing utensils so I can document what happens. Other than tools, I would want to bring a few. Most zombie apocalypse media presents a world where everyone has their own unique, interesting weapon. Rick Grimes has a Colt Python, Negan has a named baseball bat wrapped in barbed wire, you spend the entirety of Dying Light making flaming batons and electrified metal rods, Sunghua from Train to Busan has those sick tape gauntlets. You get the point. So, I don't own a gun, nor do I feasibly have access to one, which means I've got to make a good melee setup unless I want to get really good at firing a slingshot or something. So I would build a melee setup using 3 things. 1. A longer weapon like a baseball bat that I could use to bonk a zombie without getting too close to it. 2. A shorter range weapon that I could keep on me when I wanted to travel light. And 3. A knife or screwdriver that I could use to finish off a down zombie, assuming you actually have to poke them to kill them like in The Walking Dead or something. I would probably fill these roles with a baseball bat, a smaller baseball bat, and a knife. So something that you see pretty often is people putting nails through their baseball bats, but I wouldn't put nails through my baseball bats because, besides the fact that it makes them unsafe to carry, a blunt hit that knocks a zombie over is enough for me to escape an engagement, and I don't want my weapons getting stuck in everything I hit. Gross. And so that leaves me with just one more major topic. In a zombie apocalypse of this scale, society would completely collapse, and people would be left with the choice of either joining a group or chance to get alone with 1 or 2 other people. What I've presented so far is under the assumption that I'd be either alone or with just direct family, which would keep the logistical aspect of the journey fairly simple. If all my friends and their families were making a gang though, I'd be pretty tempted to join in depending on who would lead it. And so this brings me to my main point. Is it actually safer to live with a group? Is it raining hard again during my recording? Is this going to be a consistent thing? So obviously it would probably be much safer in the beginning. You all gang up, and you actually have a viable way to kill zombies outright through sheer numbers. But in a community of dozens or hundreds of people, a single zombie getting in through any means is going to guarantee several deaths. I would argue that it would be safer to just dip out in the middle of nowhere and live in a concrete water treatment facility 20 miles out of town for a couple years, instead of adding to the pool of people who threatens to increase the number of new zombies being produced. Over a year of isolation might not be worth it for some people though. I'm curious what other people have in mind, and so I'm going to ask a few friends their thoughts on it. If you were on your own in a zombie apocalypse, where would you go?
All right, so a lot of people would say like Costco or Superstore of some sort. That's dumb. Everybody would go there. Personally, I would go to honestly, I would go to my parents' house. They've got the right tools and the kitting necessary for a zombie apocalypse, you know? They've got a house in the woods, they've got guns, they've got ammo, all that good sort of stuff.
Well, considering where I am now, I'm in Missouri. It'd be kind of hard to go anywhere because I'm kind of in the middle of nowhere. But if I had the ability to, I'd probably go to like Japan and use some of the Shogun buildings and use that as like my defense.
What tools and supplies would you take with you?
I'd obviously bring some basic medical supplies, bring some perishable or non-perishable foods on the way. Obviously get like a fatty knife just for everyday use because it's good for survival in general.
My lucky hat, definitely. I'd bring quite a bit of water, probably some food as well, some like non-perishables. Duct tape, definitely. I'm gonna need duct tape. I have some here. Yeah, I think that's it. Like some clothes on my back, water, non-perishable food. Yeah.
Assuming gun stores are already looted, what kind of melee weapons would you grab or make?
Honestly, a hatchet. A hatchet is a really easy tool to make, a great tool to use, as well as it's light, you know? If you use a knife, you have to get too close to use a knife, right? But a hatchet has that extra room that you need in order not to get too close within biting range. And it's not too heavy, so yeah, hatchet.
Oh, katana all the way.
Or you get a katana?
Oh yeah. Or like any form of just good melee weapon, but katana is like highest tier on my list, especially them in Japan. Easy, like loot and go, just like katana.
Yeah, they're everywhere. Katana. They're on the walls. They're in the everywhere. Ceilings. They're everywhere.
Yep.
If you got the chance to join a group of a few dozen people you know at the start of the outbreak, would you?
See, that's a broad category. If I know them, it doesn't necessarily mean I like them. So depending on the people, yes, because if it was like super close friends, then I feel like I can trust them enough to not kill me in my sleep. But if it's just some people I know from like work or something, then probably not. I'm gonna lone wolf the F out of that.
Few dozen people that I knew, like really good friends.
Imagine that like all the people you're acquainted with from the senior class that we graduated in are making a gang.
I would not.
Why not?
Because not only is there the risk of betrayal within the group and me getting killed, there's also this hierarchy status that I don't want to get into. And then also, as well as, yes, you're protected from like groups of zombies and stuff, yes. But the one major big thing that is better for you to stay alone for is attachment. Actually, if something happens to someone that you're attached to, all of a sudden you don't have this. If you travel alone, you have this lone wolf kind of mentality. You're relying on yourself. You don't have anybody else to rely on. You become this emotional potato, so to speak. You have no emotions. You don't care for anybody. All you need to do is survive. And as soon as you start getting other people in the mix, then emotions start coming into play. And emotions, especially in a scenario like a zombie apocalypse, will most likely get you into some certain situations that you don't want to be in, you know?
One sec, kitty. I just need this chair for a little longer, okay? Meow. Aside from my friends, I'm really interested to see what people would do in a zombie apocalypse situation. Given these criteria, what do you think you would do? I'm interested to find out. Thanks for watching.